I'm too short. Hi.
Hi, how
How
are
are
you?
you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. It's nice to see you again.
You as well. Yeah. No, it's been a hot little minute, but it's so great to always chat with you as well. So, how are you doing? How's your day been?
It's been good. Pretty
Yeah.
busy. Yeah. Other than that, I might have to switch my chair. I feel super short. Okay, we're good. Yeah.
No, yeah. Do what you got to do. I definitely we want to have a great conversation with you today about a few topics.
Okay.
So yeah, feel free to do what you got to do. I know I'm also trying to look at myself and just
I
be
know,
like,
like,
am I a frame? Is my
you
lighting
look
good?
great.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
It's
Um,
nice to see your face.
Absolutely, you as well. And congratulations on your historic victory.
Thank you.
It was. I heard it was the biggest news in town. So, unfortunately, I wasn't able to be there for
Aw.
celebrating. But my wishes and my heart goes out to you and your team. So,
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you very much. It was a very good win. We had a lot of volunteers that put in so much work and effort. I am just so appreciative.
yeah, absolutely. Congresswoman-Elect Grijalva, and thank you again for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us for this very important conversation. Like I said the last time, that we were somewhat in talks was the height of the primary election. Since then, you did make history in September as the first Latina elected to Congress in Arizona. So for many of our members, that victory was super personal for them. So everyone in the chat, if you're in here, please show Adelita some love and some congratulations because of a very well-deserved win.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, absolutely. And we know that you're carrying the legacy of your late father, Congressman Raul Grijalva, who was a champion for working families in our communities, while also ushering in a new generation of progressive leadership grounded in justice and fighting apologetically for Arizona families.
Yep.
Now, just a few weeks later, those same families are being denied representation because Speaker Mike Johnson refuses to swear you in. And this is happening during a Republican-led government shutdown. So much has happened since we last talked. So today's conversation couldn't be more urgent. So again, chat, please drop questions, any thoughts, comments. We'd love to hear from you guys. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in.
Okay, I will say before we get started that one of my favorite interviews was with you. Like in all
Oh,
of the warm up to the primary, it was the one that was like I was pretty teary because it was like pretty close after my dad passed away, but it was one of the most honest conversations. Like people just asking very direct questions and giving like people an opportunity to answer. So I just want to say how much I appreciated that.
thank you. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. Yeah, no, we had a blast that day. It was a pleasure getting to know you. Yeah, and to be honest, I still think about the chimi sumos that we tried at Rollies. For those who haven't seen the episode, feel free to visit our podcast channel, Los Leftovers, where you can see the interview that we had with Adelita Grijalva during her primary run. But yeah, I just think about the chimi sumos at Rollies. So if you guys also haven't been to Rollies in Tucson, check them out
You
as well
really
too.
have to go. It's so
Yeah,
good.
it's so good. But let's go ahead and jump right in. Representative-elect, on September 23rd, you made history as Arizona's elected its first Latina to Congress in CD7. What did that moment feel like for you?
It's still a little surreal, I have to say. When you have the opportunity to think about breaking that sort of glass ceiling, and the fact that in 2025, I shouldn't be breaking, like, that shouldn't be something that should have already been done. But I know my comadre, Regina Romero, is the first Latina elected mayor of the city of Tucson. I was the first Latina elected that served as chair on the Pima County Board of Supervisors. So really what that is a signal to me and so many is that we have to keep that door open and keep pulling more people up to have opportunity to be in leadership spaces and have the opportunity to add their voices to all of the critical things that are happening in our communities where people that look like us are not at the table.
Mhm. No, yeah, I couldn't agree more. Yeah, I'm with you on it. Sometimes I look at when we do the first of anything, I'm like, we're still doing this.
We're still doing
Um,
that. Yeah.
but hey, we'll take the wins where we can. So, but we do want to fast forward a little bit to today. I mean, at this point, it's been almost nearly a month since you won, and you still haven't been sworn in. So, what do you say it looks like when 800,000 Arizonans in CD7 don't have representation?
This is what it looks like. You have Speaker Johnson, who's playing a lot of games, obstructing me getting sworn in. I'll give you an example. So I was standing in line with Univision, like they're following me around, and the person that's interviewing me, she starts to go to the short line. And I said, oh no, I have to go to this one. They're like, you don't have any identification? I said, no. So I have an office in there with my nameplate on it, but I can't get in, right, until I get through security. So I do that, and respectfully, none of the police know who I am, because they look for that little pin. That little pin opens a lot of doors, right? So, you know, I get there, and they have changed the nameplate on the door to my name, but I don't have a key to the door. So then the next day, we get a key to the door. And then I make the comment and do a video on like, hey, cool, look at this, we got in. But like, it's like having someone saying, here's a car, it has no engine, no gas, no tires. Like, that's what it's like, you know, you don't have internet. So then a little while later, I get this little knock saying, oh, we're here to look at your phone. Then another one, we're here to look at your internet. I'm like, is the house trolling me a little bit on social media? So now I want to do the thing like, I don't have a pizza. It shows up. But respectfully, what that means here in district is you can make it easier for me in DC and for the handful of staff that are there, but we still cannot enter into a lease agreement here in district. I can't. And so I can't do that, and I don't have a budget until I get sworn in. And one of the things that I hear all the time is like, well, why doesn't someone else swear you in? And I appreciate it. People have done their homework, but if you keep reading it, it basically says it still requires an act of Congress to have someone other than the speaker swear you in. And who's in charge of our calendar and calling Congress in session? Speaker Johnson.
I see.
Yeah. So in district, what it means is like I have people that are messaging me on Facebook saying, pues fui a la oficina de tu papá, pero yo creo que es tu oficina, pero nadie está. I'm like, the doors are locked, and they've been locked since the 23rd. We can't enter into a new agreement until we get sworn in. And so what it means is nobody is getting services in district, and that is taxation without representation.
Yeah, no, yeah. And I think like there's definitely a huge, your constituents need you in office in order for you to do your job. So it is a little bit ridiculous that they're not willing to just get you in. Because yeah, I think right now we need the representation more than ever. So Representative-elect, you know, right now we are in the middle of a Republican-led government shutdown. Can you explain to us how we got here and why this is happening?
Yeah. So the Republicans didn't put forward a budget that a majority could agree with, right? And so once you get to September 30th, there is no more money in the bank. So that's why we're in the shutdown. And what happened was Speaker Johnson and the Republican House put forward what they said was a clean CR, which is a continuing resolution. All it is a Band-Aid. Here's enough money to get through the next month, 2 months, whatever the deadline was, and then we'll work on other things. Well, what happened is they put that forward to the Senate. The Senate voted it down. And so what should happen is that there should be negotiation, right, for us to say, okay, so we're willing to deal with this. But what they did is they put that CR forward without any input from Democrats. And so I don't think it's a surprise in the Senate that it failed. So it has failed now. Last count was 9 times. So we're not going to be able to open up until we have a continuing resolution, and Democrats are holding the line on healthcare. And so what that means is there are all these subsidies that if you're on the ACA, if you're under Obamacare, whatever, you're getting a subsidy. Whether you know it or not, it's sort of helping to pay, like defray some of the costs from healthcare. When those are gone, that means that every person is going to spend $700 more for their insurance. It means 1 in 5 babies in Arizona are going to lose their health care. And so we'll have rural hospitals closing all over because they're going to be overwhelmed with people when you don't have preventative care, when you can't go in to see a doctor regularly. What you do is you wait until it's a crisis. Then you show up to urgent care and you show up to hospitals. And what we're going to see is closure of those spaces because the federal government's not going to be reimbursing for those emergency services.
I see. Well, yeah, I mean, we're already seeing that thousands of families in southern Arizona are already getting letters saying that their healthcare premiums are going to double. We're already hearing reports that families on Access, which relies on Medicaid funding, could lose coverage, and that rural hospitals, like you said, in places like Cochise County, may be forced to close down. So how is this Republican-led shutdown combined with Trump's so-called big, beautiful bill driving these cuts to healthcare, and what are Democrats fighting for in response?
Well, so in that ugly bill, they put all of these cuts in there. And so what we're trying to do is pull those back, claw them back, and say, we're willing to move forward and have a continuing resolution to reopen the government, provided you undo some of those cuts. That's the fight. That's why Democrats are there, have been there every week. Even though Speaker Johnson continues to cancel votes, I'm leaving tonight from Tucson. I will be in DC tomorrow doing the same thing. Like, we just have to constantly have a presence to say, we're here to work. Republicans have been on vacation since mid-September. Like, there haven't been any substantial votes since that CR. And so what Speaker Johnson is saying, well, you know, if the Democrats were to pass this continuing resolution that nobody wants, then we're willing to negotiate with you later. Well, Schumer did that, if we remember. Schumer voted for the continued clean CR. And there was no negotiating. There's no undoing so this is why we're holding this line. And unfortunately, in Arizona, that means 58,000 federal workers are not getting paid. That means people that were hired on a federal contract are not getting paid. I mean, and when you think about how many people are affected, look at all the small negocios and the restaurants, right? Anyone working in any of the servicios, they're not, if you don't know when your next paycheck is coming, you're not going to go out to eat. You're just not. So everything becomes, is this necessary? And who ends up getting impacted is everybody. So every week that we are in this shutdown, Arizona gets a hit of almost $300 million. An economic hit. We're not undoing that every week. So think about where we are and who's hurting. And it's not the 1% that, you know, Speaker Johnson is trying to protect by not letting me sign the Epstein files.
No, yeah, and yeah, that's such a good point. Like, I mean, the economic hit that is already happening. So I guess just if you got sworn in right now, like they called you up and they're like, you know what, get off of this live, come to DC, we're swearing you in right now. What would you be fighting for to get the government back open and working for Arizonans?
So we have to have some negotiation on healthcare. I cannot, as a mom of 3 kids, let 1 in 5 babies in Arizona not have healthcare. Like, I can't. This is a complete attack on working families. That's what it is. And so the things that we're going to fight for, one, it's not just the Epstein file discharge petition that I'm going to sign. There's like 7 others that are discharge petitions. And one of them is taking back this emergency executive power that the president has to be able to wreak havoc on all of the rights that we all know as Americans, and he continues to like pull back. I mean, there are so many people that are going to be devastated if we do not figure out a way to fund the ACA, those subsidies. They have to happen. So those, I think Democrats are holding the line, and there are a lot of federal workers, I mean, even ones that I see every day that are like, I am struggling right now, but do not give up. Because what I heard on the campaign was, we want you to fight for us, not just fight. Fight for people, fight for working people. And that's what we're doing. And so I'm proud to do that.
Oh, yeah, and that's such a beautiful message. I mean, I think what you said about not giving up, is there anything, besides not give up, is there any other message that you would want to give to those who are about to lose coverage?
I think those of you who are in Arizona or feel very strongly that Speaker Johnson is stopping, but the free and fair elections is a bedrock of our democracy. And I have not just been elected, my race was certified. So that's more than the other 3 people. So the only difference between me and the 3 other people that were sworn in on a special under 24 hours is that I'm not a white male. I'm a Chicana from Arizona. and that I'm going to be the 218th signer to the Epstein files. And so what is happening is they're protecting these people who've committed crimes, pedophiles, assaulted women, and they don't want them to have consequences. So we're going to hold out and make sure not only are we going to fight for healthcare, but we're going to make sure that there's transparency in this system, because this is an indication of how corrupt this system is under this administration. I mean, really, you know, we had 7 million people, probably over that, throughout the nation protest this president, protest Trump. And his response was a snarky, tasteless AI video, like crapping on all of us. There is no movement with this administration in trying to unify the divisions that exist. So we have to do that. We have to reach out. We have to talk to people and explain what's really happening, because they're not going to get it from Speaker Johnson, from this administration. I have never seen someone who could like lie so convincingly. It's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, and I mean, is there anything that folks at home who are watching, is there any type of action that they can take to put pressure on Speaker Mike Johnson?
I think they can call Speaker Johnson's office. I think they can call and leave messages. They can call their representatives, if they're even those in Arizona, to say, keep fighting for us and fight for Adelita to get sworn in. I mean, those are the things that we can do. We can send a lot of love to Attorney General Chris Mays, the leadership in the Democratic caucus, Leader Jeffries, Minority Whip Clark. They've all been very, very supportive. Our Arizona delegation, the Democrat delegation, Kelly, Gallego, Ansari, Stanton, they've really done a lot of pushing. And so I'm very appreciative, and we're just going to continue to push. I'm not going to give up. I mean, my name is Adelita. It literally means soldadera, guerrera. We're gonna fight till we get there. We'll get there eventually. We sure will.
Exactly. No, yeah, and I have nothing but hope that you will, and that things will definitely get you sworn in soon. So everyone at home too, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat. You know, I think this is a very insightful conversation that we're having so far. Yeah, I think one thing that I do want to, like, I guess, get sort of your personal feelings on is, like, what is keeping you grounded right now in this moment?
Oh, my family, my friends. I have a pretty tight group, and honestly, this community has my back. Like the No Kings protest, I mean, it was very humbling to me, with like everyone was screaming swear her in and signs. It's like, it just makes it a lot easier when you go and you know that you have a whole community behind you. That is like, it really does mean a lot to me.
Well, I'm glad that, you know, that folks at home and, you know, the people that voted you in are still there to support you.
Yep.
I'm definitely supporting you. I really hope that you get sworn in soon. But here, let's go to the chat. Let's see if there have any questions. Let's see. Let's see. So someone in the chat asked, it's clear Mike Johnson is willing to break the law to prevent people from being represented if he doesn't agree with them. Why do you think he is so threatened by democracy?
You know, I think a lot of it is he's had marching orders from Trump to say, we're not going to, we don't want you to release those files. I mean, if we think about it, Speaker Johnson also ended votes a week early in order to avoid this shutdown. I mean, in order to avoid the Epstein files getting out. I mean, they really did. So I think that it's really telling that, I mean, what is in those files and who is implicated, and bipartisan. I mean, that petition has Republicans and Democrats on it. So because Trump made it such a big issue during the election, now we really, really, really want to see what's in there. And I think they got a gander at it and then decided that they didn't want to. And I think there was a question in the chat of the phone number for Speaker Johnson, and his office in DC is 202-225-27777.
Awesome. Would you mind repeating it one more time?
Yes. 202-225-27777. 2777.
Awesome. So yeah, so everyone, folks at home, we need to get on those phone lines. We need to call in, tell Speaker Mike Johnson, like, we need to get Adelita into Congress and sworn in already. But yeah, but that's, I believe, wrapping up our time. So, you know, Representative-elect, it's clear Arizona families are feeling the impact of this Republican shutdown every single day. You even talked on the economic, you know, the economic impacts that it'll have. So
Yeah.
losing access to health care, to watching hospitals and schools struggle for funding. And now Speaker Mike Johnson is denying them a voice in Congress by refusing to swear you in. Arizonans voted, and they deserve representation and leadership that puts families first, not billionaires. And it's time to end the shutdown, restore health care, and let Adelita serve. Thank you so much for joining us, Congresswoman-Elect Grijalva. We look forward to seeing you sworn in. Actually, and it looks like we have one more question before you leave.
Sure.
So someone is asking, where is AG Mays at on the potential legal action and that she spoke about last week?
Yes, so she spoke to media over the weekend at the No Kings, and she said that they're going to do swift action. I anticipate today or tomorrow something being filed. Yeah, so I mean, she's not playing around. We're not playing around. This is about representation.
No, absolutely, yeah. And I also have one more question. What do you have to say to the people who live in Johnson's district and other Republican districts whose representatives don't show up for them?
I'm sorry, I missed the last part.
Yeah, so what would you say to people who live in Johnson's district and other Republican districts whose representatives don't show up for them?
Yeah. Continue to call them as well, because it's important to note that there are so many people not getting paid, but members of the House of Representatives their pay is not interrupted. And so they should be working. And if you look at the last few weeks, Democrats have been on the Hill, ready to work, and Republicans have not been. Everyone needs to come back to the negotiating table so we can get our nation open. We need to end this shutdown. The damage is so devastating every day that passes.
No, yeah, absolutely. And, you know, based off of this conversation, we know that you're ready to go to work the
Right?
second that they swear you in. Well, thank you again, Representative-elect. Yeah, hopefully we can catch up soon again. Yeah, let me know
Thank you for this chat.
down. Yeah, absolutely. So thank you, everyone on the live. We'll see you guys soon. And that's all for today.
Thank you. Muchas gracias.
Bye.
Bye.